This is a public broadcast. All the world is a stage, and all the men and women merely players. Why should a YouTube video be any different? In this video series, at times, you, dear viewer, play the part of a tinfoil wearing individual. It is just a part. None of my dialogues are demeaning you personally, unless, of course, you truly are one of those tinfoil wearing individuals. Thank you for your understanding. What the?
Ring around the rosy.
We're all stupid. We're all going to die. This is going to be a difficult video, and not to mention controversial for some reason that is beyond my grasp. On my videos, at times I try to debunk something using science and data. At times it's a technical video or reviews. These are partially or completely opinion based. You might disagree with me that Hitchhiker's Guide is one of the funniest sci-fi ever, and that's all fine. You can criticize my work, and that can be with or without merit, and that's really the point. But isn't the statement also my opinion? Well, yes it is. I don't think there will be any scientific data in this video. Let's revisit that BBC article. Wikipedia sets new rule to combat toxic behavior. Okay, though I feel a statement like toxic behavior is very broad. Oh, don't get me wrong, I know many examples that are considered as toxic. But at the end, there is no clear-cut official definition. A casual Google search returns some strange results. Let's look at one of these. Fair warning. It's a deep rabbit hole full with BS. It's not that the whole person is toxic. Rather, their behavior is toxic, or your relationship with that person is toxic, says Jodie Gale, MA, a physiotherapist and life coach in Sydney, Australia. According to Gale, it's common for people with toxic behavior to create drama in their lives or be surrounded by it, try to manipulate or control others, be needy, use others to meet their needs, be extremely critical of themselves and others, be jealous and envious of others, bemoaning their bad fortune and others' good fortune, abuse substances or harm themselves in other ways, and be willing or unable to seek help from loved one, a therapist, or a recovery program. Well, color me surprised. I think I'm about to tick every single box. 1. Create drama in their lives or be surrounded by it. Does creating a YouTube channel debunking idiots count? If you think about the channels you visit, are those creating drama that you're surrounded by? The problem is, I'm not exactly sure what drama means in this context. 2. Try to manipulate or control others. Be needy, it is about them all the time. Well, let the one without any sin cast the first stone. Every part of our modern life aspect can be attributed to these factors, both good and evil. Many modern inventions and medical advances is the direct result of controlling others or being needy. If you have some time, read up on this dude called Thomas Alva Edison. He was a really cool guy. 3. Use others to meet their needs. Well, this one is so ironic. I'll come back to this later, I promise. 4. Be extremely critical of themselves and others. Wait, that's a bad thing now? Are we supposed to pat ourselves on our back for everything we do? First place for everyone? Yes, there is a qualifier extremely. Once again, I don't understand as these terms are subjective. There's a story about one of my favorite wrestlers. In those extreme cases where he would make a mistake in the ring, which probably no viewer picked up on, he would then go and do 1,000 squats as a self-punishment. If there is only one thing you take from this video, let it be this one. If you want to truly excel at what you do, you have to be your worst critic.
I like me, I'm as good as I can be, with a smile and a wink and a happy melody. I'm as good as I...
Hooray! Everyone's a winner!
5. Be jealous and envious of others, bemoaning their bad fortune and others' good fortune. Seriously? Is there any amongst us who doesn't feel that way ever? I'm jealous of that person who has a loving partner. I'm envious of those smarter than me. Isn't that just human nature? I also appreciate my good fortune, as there are billions of people in a lot worse position than me. 6. Abuse substances or harm themselves in other ways. Well, I smoke cannabis, I drink alcohol, I live in a city. Next. 7. Be unwilling or unable to seek help from loved ones. Well, one of these qualifiers is unable. If that's the case, how is it their fault? And for unwillingness, so let me understand this. I don't want or seek any help from you, and that makes me toxic? I mean, that line is amazing, because in a way, if you don't agree with their standard and what you should be doing, then vice versa, you are toxic. So, those were the common toxic behavior, and me checking all those, I'm a toxic person, fair enough. And I gather you would like me to mend my ways, right? Of course. No, there was a point 3 that I said I would come back to. That was using others to meet their needs. Now, would it be fair to say that you're using others to force us into changing for your need? Congratulations, welcome to the group, and now you're a part of it. I felt we had to understand that term toxic behavior first, though it doesn't directly relate to my point. But did you notice what I did? I mean, I'm a man, and I explained something. I man-explained.
Thank the Right Honourable Gentleman for telling me that it is International Women's Day tomorrow. I think that's what's called mansplaining.
Wikipedia is written and updated by volunteers. Many, particularly women and members of the LGBTQ community, have complained of abuse and harassments from other editors. A study from University of Washington on the gender gap in Wikipedia editors found many female and LGBTQ editors feared for their safety. Several female editors told the researchers their work had contested by male editors, or that they received negative feedback from a male editor. This has led to a form of harassment where, after one volunteer adds to a page, another volunteer will remove or change that work moments later, forcing the first editor to redo their work and leading to editing battles. Dear Lord, so many things to unpack there. But is the line contested by male editors, or that they receive negative feedback from a male editor? That really makes my manly man blood boil. I presume this is from the toxicity of being critical of self or others. I mean, honestly, what's the big deal, right? As if it's not an online encyclopedia providing summaries of knowledge and go-to reference site for a lot of us. It's not like we expect it to be accurate, right? For Wikipedia, its greatest strength is also its greatest weakness. Volunteers' contribution is what keeps the wiki up to date and references. But these contributions can at times be propaganda material, misinformation, or blatant lie. Wiki had always relied on other contributors to solve this problem. For some articles, you'd even see a lock icon. Two that immediately comes to mind would be Armenian genocide and Nanking massacres. Both those events really happened almost 90 years ago, and still there are people who deny it. If those pages were editable, you'd see the information flip-flop where it would be raised between truth and lie. things got murkier for recent events, and those even don't have to be that recent. If you remember the Gamergate controversy from 2014, and you read that Wiki article, you might notice some discrepancies. You want some more can of worms? There are topics like red pill, MRA that would completely divide the audience. If I'm a wiki editor and some contributor edit a page promoting links between vaccine and autism, or flat earth is a possibility, or gravity isn't real, or pay gap in gender, I'll be contesting that work, and there will be negative feedback. Hell, there will be a Hail Mary. I hope you understand that. Am I making a slippery slope argument? I don't think so. If Wiki does implement some kind of guidelines, expected to be ratified by the board by 30th of August, what would that mean? It's not a moral high ground of being progressive. If I review some programming code, it's the code I'm reviewing. And I can give two rats' ass about the gender of the person behind it. I enjoyed Witcher in Netflix, and the fight scenes were really good. Now, do I know the gender of the choreographer or choreographers behind the scene? No. Does it affect my liking or my criticism? No. My negative feedback is not a reflection on your gender. And between us, maybe it's playing all the games rescuing damsels in distress. Somehow I was always harder on one gender. The male programmer got a lot more flack from me. I guess I was worried that I might make the female programmers cry if I did the same. Diversity is not talent. If you're talented for a particular job, I don't care if you're a monkey with 6 boobs. However, our recent trends seems to go the other way, where diversity or being a minority is more important somehow. Which brings us near the end. Just in case you haven't noticed from my accent, I'm not white. So, I'm part of the ethnic minority. And if you disagree with me on any of my opinion, you are a bigot. Oh wow, I can see why this is used so much. It's like a superpower. I can say or do anything I want. If we are having this conversation in real life, I would have used a different example. But being in YouTube, let's use an imaginary race. Let's kill all Klingons! I can say that with impunity because I'm an ethnic minority and can't possibly be racist. Please Star Trek people, don't hate me. Klingons are not real. Of course, the world shouldn't work that way. If you agree or disagree, type it in the comments below. If you have any criticism, then please do it even more. If you want to contest something, feel free. If it's valid, I will do whatever is necessary to fix that wrong. Shouldn't everyone feel the same way? How to deal with toxicity. Do you feel you have to constantly save this person and fix their problems? You're covering up or hiding for them. You dread seeing them. You feel drained after being with them. You get angry, sad, or depressed when you are around them. They cause you to gossip or be mean. You feel you have to impress them. You are affected by their drama or problems. They ignore your needs and don't hear no. I'll break this down for you into one line, which may be a hard pill to swallow, but the quicker you understand it, the quicker you will recover. When 9 points are all about you and how you feel, then maybe it's an you problem rather than a them problem. Just saying.